military involvement in the North African nation, which began just over a week ago. White House correspondent Mike Emanuel is at the National Defense University, the site of tonight's speech, with a preview. Mike.
Brett, good evening. President Obama will speak to a mostly military audience in this auditorium about why he authorized military force in Libya and where the mission goes from here. The USS Stout launched a series of Tomahawk missiles in support of Operation Odyssey Dawn, hours before the commander-in-chief prepared to address the nation on Libya. Military intervention by the U.S. and its allies appears to have shifted momentum away from forces loyal to the regime in favor of the rebels, who have fought their way to Muammar Gaddafi's hometown of Sirte.
Clearly, the opposition is not well organized, and it is not a very robust organization. I mean, that's obvious. So any gain that they make is tenuous based on that.
In a town hall on Univision, simulcast in Spanish, President Obama reiterated about Libya.
Our involvement there is going to be limited, both in time and in scope.
Over the weekend, Mr. Obama explained why he believed military action was necessary.
But I firmly believe that when innocent people are being brutalized, when someone like Gaddafi threatens a bloodbath that could destabilize an entire region, and when the international community is prepared to come together to save many thousands of lives, then it's in our national interest to act.
But when pressed about whether Libya posed an actual or imminent threat to the United States, Defense Secretary Gates responded in this way.
It was not a vital national interest to the United States, but it was an interest.
Gates did say the region is a vital interest. On Friday, the president briefed some key lawmakers on the mission, but many have called for a speech to the nation and said he should have sought congressional authorization for the use of force.
Look, everybody understands that Gaddafi is a thug and a murderer, and we want to see him go. But I think in the midst of two wars, I'm not quite sure that we need a third war.
Rather than an address from the Oval Office as he did on the Gulf oil spill, Mr. Obama will speak at the National Defense University in Washington. In December 2009, when Mr. Obama announced a surge of 30,000 troops in Afghanistan, he chose West Point. A former Bush speechwriter says the location may be personal preference, but says it is important to hear from Mr. Obama directly.
One of the responsibilities of the commander-in-chief is to explain to the American people the reasons for military action that he's taking and to ask them for their support and rally them to behind the troops. And this is a responsibility that this president has not been fulfilling.
Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell says based on the limited combat role in Libya, the president has been acting within his authority as commander-in-chief. But McConnell says should the role change or expand, the president should consult with Congress. Brett?
Mike Emanuel live at NDU. Mike, thank you. Libyan rebels have regained control of hundreds of miles along Libya's Mediterranean coast and are now within 60 miles of Gaddafi's hometown. Senior correspondent Rick Leventhal looks at the grisly costs of those advanced